Okay.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm the chair of I'm the president of the council. I'm also the chair for the movies and also for the food and beverage. This morning, I won't hold it up too much. The only other thing I wanted to say for the movies, we have some new things going on. The movie committee is working along with the activities, and if you notice, I'm going to re-say it. Every month, the food and beverage has a country of the month that the food is designated to, and so we try to throw some movies onto the screen that will show that country. If you'll notice that this coming up in February, the food is going to be Korean, so there'll be a few Korean movies, at least with Korean themes, let's put it that way. The food and beverage, that's George. If you have any questions, I do believe we got to the printer. We've been asked about the cards, and they are being printed up, and we can get them out to you just as soon as we can. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the rest of the council, and that's it for now.
My name is Jeannie Brown. I'm the Secretary of Council. And one of the things I wanted to talk about briefly before I introduce you to your new neighbors that have moved in since the last meeting is the fact that we have been putting out information multiple times about folks being invited to run for council. We didn't actually run out of paper with the list. It's hardly anybody. Anyway, we've got one more day. I'll be here. I'm going to stay for a few minutes after the meeting. If anybody wants to come up and talk to me about what would be like to run for council, the only criteria right now is to have lived here for 6 months. So, moving right along. Okay. Those of you that live on the second floor, your newest neighbor is Rilla Silvers. And on the second floor, if anybody's here, raise your hand, we'll point out. Okay.
Over there.
Okay. So
Over there. Okay, great.
Great. Glad you're here. On the third floor, your newest neighbor is Stuart Graber. I'm not sure if Stuart is here. And then the fourth floor, I think the first time I'm sorry. The fourth floor, we actually have 3 couples that have moved in. So we got Alan and Judy Rosenblum, John and Stephanie Suresh, they might be here, I don't know, and Dennis and Carolyn Gaswick. Okay. Thank you.
My name is Ray Gilbert. I am, my assignment from the board is building and operations. I'd like to make a couple comments here. Number one, trash service it's between 7 and 10 o'clock. Put your trash outside your apartment, and please don't put out wet bags because you're going to stain the carpeting. Speaking of carpeting, this is our home. The carpeting here is very clean. I hope you've noticed. The arrangement here is the carpeting is in squares. The carpeting in the elevators is in squares. If something happens to the carpeting, they can, under dire circumstances, the square can be removed so we don't have a permanent stain on what we live. This is our home. Along with that, I have to say that if you see a stain, please report it to the concierge. I know there was a problem in one of the elevators where one of the animals did their business. And the nice thing about one of the nice things about Carrington is if your animal has a problem, you're not going to be sued, you're not going to be attacked. Just call it in. If you see something wrong, call it in. Speaking of that, if there's something you need in your apartment, done in your apartment, you have a problem with your refrigerator, you have a problem with the air conditioning heating system or anything else you need done, there's generally no charge for anything. We're trying to keep the building in as good shape as possible. Turn in a work order. You don't get charged for it. The work will get done, and let's keep the building in as best possible condition that we can. Okay. Incidentally, Phil made a comment about the comment cards. I was amazed when in the first year I was here, I thought with a group of aging people, we would have something like 80 or 90% complaints. It turns out the comments were 50-50 as far as positive and negative. And along that line, I would say this: if you like some of the food, if something came out especially good, if something well was done, fill up your comment card. If you want to see the same dish appearing again, George doesn't know you really liked it. And the more people that turn in positive remarks, fine. And the more people that turn in negative remarks, any problems that do exist, this place is not 100%. It gets improved. The cards are looked at. They are acknowledged. And movement is taken to take care of that. In fact, the cards have to do with anything positive or negative you have around here. If you don't speak up, it's not going to be changed. There are recycling containers in all 3 garages, and there's indications in them as to there's plastic and paper, what can be recycled, and that's part of being a good citizen in the world and at the Carrington. So please use them if at all possible. The one other thing I wanted to comment on. These ugly pennants, all they do is save your life. They're heavy, they're obnoxious. I always wear mine. One of the IL residents for the last 6 or 8 months has said she doesn't like them, so she keeps it right near her refrigerator. Laugh. The week before last, she fell down. It took her 25 minutes to crawl over to the refrigerator to reach her pendant to have somebody come and help her and to get the paramedics or somebody to get her off the floor. So if you want to just take it as a notice. You'll wear them. The other thing I hope you realize, our apartments have motion detectors in them. I got a call a couple weeks ago or so. They asked, was I okay? I said, thank you for calling. I'm glad somebody's concerned that whatever went wrong in my apartment, I don't know what it was, but I was just fine. But I said, thanks for bothering me. I really appreciate. No, I didn't say bothering me. Thanks for calling me. It's nice to know that we are being taken care of, that somebody is watching for what we're doing. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Trudy Schragle. So anybody new that hasn't met me, you'll probably meet me soon. I am the chairman, it's wrong. My part in the council is activities. So life enrichment is my gig, and I love it. Those of you who think you've moved in and don't have enough to keep you busy, I would encourage you to look at Charlie's board, which is right over there. Pick up a monthly calendar, a weekly calendar, and on Charlie's board, a daily calendar. And all you need to do is peruse that and carry a pencil with you and circle anything that might interest you. And let me tell you, you'll find something that will interest you. I now want to have you let me indulge you in something that I've written up. It won't be long, and I don't think you'll fall asleep. It's a general thank you I want to give to the Carrington community. Those of you that are my good friends, those of you that are just my acquaintance, those of you that only see me passing in the hall. I always talk a lot about kindness, and I try to keep kindness as a guiding principle in my life. Not long ago, I was in isolation with COVID. That was the first time I've encountered COVID in the 4 years that I've been here. I'm not very good at isolation, since I'm pretty sociable and like to talk. Being in isolation for the duration of COVID has been an illuminating experience for me in particular. The kindness of so many residents here at the Carrington has been a gift that I am going to treasure. If I said isolation was easy, I would be lying to you. It's hard. However, a text from a friend, a card slipped under my door, a call from one of the concierges, a check from Sean in the Wellness Center, delivery from the kitchen, or the daily visit of my dog walker, all helped and made me have a day that was easier. Yes, our community here at the Carrington is truly a blessing. I realize, with a thank you all around to all of you, that a thank you is a gift of friendship, love, welcome. May we all do what we can for ourselves when and if we experience COVID or any illness. May we meet each other and each day, keeping kindness in our hearts and minds as a precious gift to share between those who live within our community here at the Carrington, which is our neighborhood, our home, and be truly grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Trudy. That was really, really sweet. Thank you. All right. Well, normally at this time, Sean from Custom Home Care would come up here and chat, but he has a few days off. So well-deserved days off for him. He's been working very hard. What I'm going to do is share a flyer that is going to be given to all of the residents over the weekend. And it is a summary of the process of the isolation that was just discussed. And I'm just going to go through it just very quickly on a couple of points. These are designed from CDC recommendations on care when folks have the flu, have COVID, or have other communicable diseases. And it's essentially a 10-day process. The first 5 days is isolation, and the next 5 days is a restriction from attending the dining rooms. And there are different steps along the way within those 5 days and day 6 to 10. So there's testing along that process, and at the end of 10 days, people do not need to wear masks anymore after they have stopped exhibiting symptoms. So it will all be spelled out in the Friday newsletter that you'll get, and then these will be posted in on Charlie's board, and it will be posted outside of Sean's office on the second floor. So there is a process that you've all lived through, but we've been getting questions from folks that have not lived through it on what the isolation and mask protocols would be here. So that will be coming out to you all soon. Janelle, I'm going to ask you to come up. Janelle is from Select Rehab, and she's going to share with you all the wonderful things she's got going on.
everybody. Good morning. Just like Brad said, I think I've met a lot of you, but to anybody who's new here, my name is Janelle. I am the therapy program director for Select Rehab here at the Carrington, which Select Rehab is an outpatient therapy company that conveniently the Carrington had invited to come be here for the community to make it easy for everyone here to access any therapy needs that they might have. So we are here in the building full-time during the week. We have 2.5 physical therapists, 1 occupational therapist, and a speech therapist, which that's me. I'm the manager and the speech therapist. So we provide those services to you if that's something that you have a need for. To get on with us, you need a doctor's order. We need to get your ID cards and your insurance cards, and then typically what happens is we'll send it for verification, and once insurance is verified, we can typically get you set up with a therapist that you need within a week or 2. We had some long waiting times when I first started, but we've managed to get that down, and so people are typically getting on pretty quickly with therapy services now. So if you have those needs, you can come down to the therapy gym, the fitness center, and talk to any of the therapists that are down there, myself included. If you want to call, the concierge can direct you to the number for the phone that's down in the fitness center, and those are all ways that you can get in touch with someone from our department. We also have an office on the 3rd floor that's kind of close to the far elevators, right across from that little living room area, so that's another option too. If I'm in the office, all you have to do is knock and I'll answer. If I'm not, obviously I won't answer because I'm not in there, but that's a way to try me. A couple of other things that we have going for the Carrington are one of our therapists, our occupational therapist, Jonathan, teaches a class every week in the fitness center. It's on Monday at 1 o'clock. It's about half an hour, and its focus is on movement and balance. So those are both things that a lot of people in the community, I think, could use some work on or want to work on. It's geared a little bit more towards big movements for people with Parkinson's, because we do have a lot of residents in the community that have that they experience movement and balance issues because of that. But it's open to anyone who needs a little exercise, wants to work on those things. Everyone is welcome to come to it. And like I said, that's in the fitness center on Mondays at 1 o'clock, so it's one thing we offer. I run a Parkinson's support group every month. It's every third Wednesday of the month at 1 o'clock on the 4th floor in aisle in the game room up there. So if anyone is familiar where the pool tables are, that's where it meets. We usually meet for about an hour. And again, anyone with Parkinson's, of course, is welcome. It's a support group for that. But if you're a caregiver or a friend or an acquaintance or a parent even, we had a resident here who lives in the community and whose son does not, but he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and she came one time because she wanted to get some more information. So anyone is welcome, spouses, whatever, that's going on. And then the third thing that we have to offer is we have a piece of equipment in the therapy gym that's called the Virtue Sense. And it is a gait and balance assessment tool. So it uses infrared sensors and things like that to assess what your balance looks like, what your walking looks like, and if those things put you at risk for increased falls. And that is a service that we offer as an assessment free of charge. It takes about 10 minutes. So if that's something that you're interested in knowing more about, how's my balance, how's my walking, you can set that up with one of the therapists to have them assess how that is looking for you. And sometimes when people do that, they'll decide, hey, maybe physical therapy would be a good idea for me because I'm noticing some changes and the machine is picking up some changes. Sometimes residents use it kind of as sort of like a benchmark. So it's free anytime. It's not like you can just do it once and then after that you're charged. You can have it done periodically throughout the year if you want to, just to see, hey, are things staying the same? Have they gotten a little worse? Is it something I need to worry about? And again, like I said, it takes about 10 minutes. The therapist that does it will have you just do a bunch of different movements, walking and turning and sitting and standing, things like that. Again, you can come down to the gym to set that up. You can call us. Those are all things that we'd be able to help you with if you get in contact with us. So I'm getting to know a lot more of you here. It's nice to see all your faces. Let us know if you have any therapy needs, okay? Thank you guys.
Next up is Julian, our Director of Life Enrichment.
I'm here.
Good morning, everyone. Hi. So I'm Julian Arviza. I'm the Director of Life Enrichment. I have to hold a mic. We are a busy community and we try our best to keep everyone informed about what's going on. Everything can be found at the Activities Hub, which is just behind the concierge desk in IL. There you will see lots of flyers and calendars and announcements. You can pick up a monthly calendar. That's the big one. This was the January calendar. You can also pick up a weekly calendar there. And you can see what's going on today and tomorrow on Charlie's board. Don't take the daily calendar off Charlie's board, but you can see what's going on there. And also, everything is posted, most everything, on K4, which is our communications platform. And if you haven't downloaded the app yet, you really should. It has really a lot of great information. We have K4 learning sessions every Friday in the cafe with Patricia, who's here. Patricia, raise your hand. There she is. So friendly, so ready to help. So that's Friday afternoons in the cafe. In addition, Reggie will be doing and is doing the tech help sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the cafe. So a couple specific updates. Puzzles. Who are my puzzle people? There they are. So the puzzle setup is complete in the second floor library. We now have 3 puzzle tables, all being used, by the way. What? There is still a comfortable seating area. There's the book collection, and then there's also the corner desk. But puzzle people, when you're done with the puzzle, I get it, we're so proud. We want to look at it for a while. But maybe look at it, take a picture, and then go ahead and put it back in the box. And we're still storing all of our puzzles in the cabinet in the ping pong room. So I know it's not really convenient, but if you can't get it there, at least just put it on the desk. Also, an update on the game room. The game room is on the 4th floor. It's the one with the pool table and the poker tables. We now have shifted 2 poker tables out, and we have 2 regular-sized game tables, or dining tables in there. So people have already started using it for games. We're having support groups in there. It's nice because the doors close. And of course, we can't forget our twice weekly poker players on Mondays and Thursdays. So just think about that room for meetings and events. So what's coming up? Oh, a couple new things. Carrington Connections. Is Pat here? I thought I saw her, yeah. Thursdays at 11 o'clock in the ping pong room. I shouldn't say we. Pat is holding a class called Carrington Connections. She's doing this with Melanie, and I think others are helping as well. And so she's basically covering all the different departments and services of the Carrington. She's consulting with each director to make sure that she's giving you correct information. But it's a great way for you to hear about each department and how something works from a resident's perspective. So that's Thursdays at 11 a.m. It's going to go about 12 weeks, right, Pat? Yeah. 10 weeks. It might be 12. No, I'm just kidding. We also, once a month, we're having a candlelight meditation and relaxation class. We'll advertise more about that, but we had the first one Friday, and a few people went. I want to talk to you about that, but I think it went well. Coming up in February, super busy. Current events, in addition to 2 sessions, regular sessions on Tuesdays, we're going to have 2 additional deep dive sessions with Sally on the upcoming Supreme Court cases. The first one is this Thursday at 11, and that'll be on the calendar. In our Passport to the World series, this month we will focus on Korea. So look for activities, movies, some dining experiences. Even, our 2 Everyone Has a Story sessions are going to be with residents from Korea. So we're excited about that. The Hotsy Totsy Voices are back. Almost. Next Thursday and the following, we'll have song selection sessions. And then on February 22nd, we will begin rehearsals in earnest. So if you want to join, if you've always wanted to join, come on out. February, okay, chock full of holidays. It's Black History Month, so we'll be doing several things. But also this Friday, we're going to show a really interesting documentary called Racist Trees. It'll be on the calendar, so look for that. Super Bowl Sunday on the 11th, we're going to have some tailgate snacks and watch the game in the Tap and Bistro. We'll have a Valentine's Day happy hour. It's Heart Health Month, so we're having 2 med talks, one by Pat and one by Custom Home Care on heart health. We have a dance troupe coming in the last Sunday of the month. For outings, we have a free outing this Sunday to the Skokie Library for a Young Steinway program. We have our Wednesday shopping outings. We have our first Tuesday Costco and Walgreens outings. We have one of the series of the Skokie Theater series. It's on Golden Pond, is Wednesday, February 21st. All of these you have to RSVP at the concierge, and I would do that quickly. The bus only holds 12 people. 14? Yeah. For early March, I'm looking into this Downton Abbey exhibition at Old Orchard, so there's still so many things we could be doing, and we're trying to get more outings on the books. I want to say that the Messenger newsletter, you probably all know that our printers have been down. So we're hoping that you'll have calendars on February 1st, but also the Messenger newsletter, we will copy that, and they will be available at the Activities Hub and in the mail room, so please pick one up. Is Harvey here? Yeah. Where? Oh, Harvey, thank you for continuing to do that. Is Barb Garrison here? Is Barb here?
No.
I don't think she's here. I just wanted to give her a thank you for doing all of our fun entertaining minutes for all this time that she's been here. Yeah, she's been a fun church leader helping with philanthropic things, and the minutes have been very, entertaining. Well, that wasn't what I was going to say, but I think that's all. I also just want to tell everybody, if you would like to reserve a room, and many of you know this because you do it already, if you want to reserve a room to use for a family party or a dinner, just call me or call Caitlin in our office and we can help you. You don't have to pay for it. We just like to reserve so that we don't double book our spaces. Okay, and I think that's all for me. I'm going to head to my office, but Caitlin is here and also Daniela is here. They'll help with questions later. Thanks, everyone.
Next is, did you turn it off?
No.
Maybe? How about now?
There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, next up is Hina Head, Director of Customer Financial Services.
I'm a shorty. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
For all the new residents who have joined the Carrington, welcome to your new home. And we are here to help and serve you with all the needs that we can provide. I oversee the concierge and the transportation team now. We have a new driver in transportation. His name is Imran. My goal is to have 3 drivers Monday to Friday so we can provide as maximum rides we can and accommodate every resident with their needs. In concierge, we have moved the mail cubbies. The package room is now located right behind the concierge desk. We are still in the process of putting the mail cubbies on the wall. So if you need any help getting to your mail cubbies, please let one of the concierge know so they can help you. We do not want any accidents in the package room. We want you to be safe. And just an FYI about all the February statements has been put in the mail copy last week on January 22nd for February statements. If you need your full count points, I can print it out for you. Please stop by my office and I'll be more than happy to help you with that. I'm also a notary public. If you're looking for any documents that needs notarized, please stop by my office. You can call and make an appointment. If you cannot come down to my office, I'll be more than happy to come and assist you in your apartment at your convenience. Do you have any questions for me? No? Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Jerry's going to come up and talk. Jerry is our Director of Plant Operations.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. First of all, I would like to welcome our new resident. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jerry. I'm Director of Plant Operation, and I am responsible for maintenance, housekeeping, janitorial, and IT. And yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. First of all, I would like to apologize for situation with our pool. The pool is closed because the heater is the big failure. It's not repairable anymore. We're waiting for completely brand new unit, and which is supposed to be this week. But for now, I didn't hear anything from our vendor. They give us 10 days to get this the new unit to be installed. Second thing, this is completely new information. I just have information from the other vendor. At night, from Monday to Tuesday next week, we will not have hot water. It's going to be from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. So the cold water, it's going to work normal. We have a cold water. The toilets, everything works normal, but the hot water will be off completely for 8 hours. And we will send you information Monday during the day, exactly with all details to remind you we will be off hot water this night. And one more thing which I want to mention again, if anybody planning hire any outside company to do anything in your apartment, we will need to notice that before. And also we need to know exactly what needs to be done, and we need some documents from this company, especially proof of liability insurance. This is very important. And this is not only repair or do something in the apartment, this is include also any cleaning carpets. So everything what is done in your apartment through outside company, not our vendors, we need to be notified that before that fact. Thank you so much. And like probably some of you guys notice, the winter is not really bad this year, so we're starting a little bit preparation outside for spring, which I hope is around the corner. So yeah. So you will probably see during this week and next week our landscaping company, which they're doing some job around the building. That's all from me. If you have any questions, one more thing. This is very important. This is new change too. If you guys now call me on my voicemail, I automatically receive email also with exactly same message which you leave on my voicemail. So this is very convenient. If you need anything, just call. If even I'm not answered, it's going to my voicemail. I'm automatically receive now email with your request. And then I create, and my team, Nino's my supervisor, we will create work orders. So it's another way to notify us, very easy, if anything needs to be done. Hold on 1 second.
The temperature in the garage 1 at least, I just came out of, is 80 degrees. I don't need to heat my car up, and that's money down the drain.
Okay, I will check that. Thank you. This is electrical heaters. Maybe we not readjust after this very cold weather 2 weeks ago. I'll double check that. And thank you so much. And again, if you see something in the building which, in your opinion, is wrong, it's something which not supposed to be like that, please let us know as soon as possible. As sooner we can get the problem, the sooner we can fix the problem.
Turn in the work order. Turn in the work.
Yes, but to work order, or like I said, it's the easiest way now to call on my voicemail. All right. Any more questions? Great. Thank you so much, and enjoy your day.
Next up is George. George is our Director of Food and Beverage.
Good morning, everybody. All right. Okay. So before we started, I'd like to start with good news first. So we have Jennifer. Jennifer, if you don't mind standing up, please. So Jennifer, today's her first day. So Jennifer is our new maitre d' who will be who's joining us, part of the leadership team, assisting myself and David, out in the dining room. So Jennifer's position, I think on the last meeting we had, I explained her role. Her role is really your point of contact, when it comes to hospitality. So this is what our, what we aiming for is really to, drive this department to more of a hospitality focus. So she's gonna be responsible to deal with your reservation, issues you had on the floor. So if you don't see myself out on the floor or David, feel free to go to Jennifer. Jennifer's also gonna be overseeing the supervisors, as well as the servers, busters. So anything regarding the dining room, if you come into the dining room, whether the dining room was not ready for you or your service, you had issues with your service, please see Jennifer. As a friendly reminder, our staff, are trained to be hospitable, treat every resident in here with respect, dignity, and compassion. So we ask the same. Please, we ask the same. No screaming at a staff, somebody who's like in high school, this is their first job. I guarantee you the next day they will not come back. That makes things a little harder. So just like I don't tolerate any one of my staff to be disrespectful to any resident, guest, or family members. So please, police each other and make sure that we're not also we're treating the staff with the same respect. They truly have a passion of serving you. They enjoy serving you, and that's how we're going to be able to make sure that we retain staff as well. It's because if they're feeling like they're being treated, appreciated by all of you. I'm not saying that you don't. A lot of you voice that to me multiple times. I see it on the comment cards. You tell me how much, how great, some of the staff are and how, fantastic, how some of them have improved over the past couple of months. So all those, we want to recognize all those, and we make sure that the staff knows that. But that's just one thing I wanted to quickly touch. In addition to Jennifer, we do have 2 new servers who will be joining us as well today. We have more in the pipeline. So again, our goal is to really get you in and out of that dining room, fast service, out of the dining room. Same thing for the kitchen. We also have a pipeline of candidates that we have, selected that's going to be joining us as well over the next couple of weeks. That's going to help, expedite the production of that meal out of that kitchen. I apologize. I understand that, the wait, sometimes it's frustrating, but please just bear with us. We will make the necessary adjustment with the addition of these new team members who are joining us. Your meal allowance is spread over a 30-day period. So you are to use your meal allowance for meals in the dining room, as well as, in addition to this year, what we started is, before you couldn't use the meal allowance to purchase liquor. That's one thing that we were able to do because we want you to be able to spread and utilize your meal allowance, so you don't have to feel like you're being cheated with having so much left over and don't know what to do with it. In addition to that, we added the convenience store, which is another addition of things that you can buy that's convenient to you that you can utilize your meal allowance for. So everything that we're doing again is really to streamline and find ways to better serve you. Like I always say, I don't get complacent. I'm always changing. I like to adjust as we go, because that's the only way we're going to be able to meet your needs and expectation. Our new menu that recently rolled out, we understand there's some difficulty with that new menu. Part of it is the staffing. If we have the adequate staffing, we can deliver that menu to you on a timely manner to the table, as well as the proper equipment that's going to make sure that meal is warm and when it comes to you in front of your table. So those are all things that we have that we as a team are working in the background, really trying to find ways to make sure that we're meeting your needs. I do apologize for any delays and things, or residents who may voice their concerns regarding the changes that we had over the past couple of weeks. I understand your point. But please understand that, with the market that we're dealing with right now, inflation is across the board. And my goal is to really put better center-of-a-plate items in front of you. So where are you going to find, tomorrow on the menu, we have veal marsala, lamb wrap on the menu. Where are you going to find that at any restaurants or any other community where you're going to find that for $16? Nowhere else. Nowhere else. So if you're frustrated, I hear you, but that's not my goal. My goal is not to frustrate you. My goal is to keep you happy with the meals that we provide to you. So thank you. If you have any questions, we're having our food committee meeting tomorrow at 2:00 at the bistro. So we meet every second Wednesday, every fourth Wednesdays of each month. As always, I truly appreciate your feedback, your comments, your emails. A lot of you just send me emails, whether it's positive or negative. I do appreciate that, because the minute I get those emails or phone calls, you can ask David, you can ask Chef Tori. I immediately make sure that I bring him in the loop so that we can make sure that we make the necessary adjustments. Making the same mistakes over and over, it gets redundant, it gets tiring. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to make changes and adjust as we go to meet your needs. Thank you.
Next up is Kelly. Kelly is our Director of Dementia Programming.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly. I'm the Director of Dementia Programs. It's so nice to see all of you. To begin with, we have relaunched the Carrington team for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Last year, we raised over $8,000 for the association. My goal is to beat that this year. If you would like more information on how you can help support the team, or if you'd like to walk with us, you can flag me down. We will continue with our Care Partners support group on the first and third Mondays of the month. This is for folks who are living, this is for folks who are the primary care partners for people living with memory changes. We also have our support group for people who have memory changes. That is being moved to Monday, so we don't have to compete with the Hotsy-Totsies anymore. And then finally, I can't remember what day it is, what Monday it is, but it'll be on your calendar. And then finally, we also have a support group for people who are living or who have had cancer, and that's also on a Monday. Does anybody have any questions for me? All right, thank you.
Okay, I wanted to continue the thought that George threw out of the store items, the corner store items now going on the food allowance. I wanted to let you know that you don't need to do anything differently. You go to the store, you pick the items out, you go to the concierge, they will total everything up, and starting February 1st, they will have an iPad there, and they can immediately process your purchases into the full count system so that the subtraction will happen immediately. So I think we've moved forward with that. That was an item that you all had requested last year, and come February 1st, that should be in full swing. One of the things that we all like to report at the end of this meeting is the census. Currently, there are 245 apartments in the independent living community. There are 54 apartments in assisted living. In our bridge program, or the mezzanine program, we have 23. And in memory care, we have 42.5. It's not a half a person, but we have shared units there. So statistically, we count that as 42.5, and we have a 95.2 census across all of the Carrington service levels. So I too have a Wednesday afternoon meeting, the opposite Wednesday of Dorj. Those of you that have come, you know that it's an open forum. You can ask questions. We try to problem solve. You give me assignments on things that I need to either research or fix in the building, and then I report to you the following week on the status of whether it's been completed or still being worked on. So I encourage you to come every other Wednesday to my meeting, and that's in the bistro, and then the opposite Wednesdays, Dorj for the food committee. So I thank you all very much.
Wait.
We have a wait. Okay, go ahead.
Was our understanding that Jim Biggs is here. Is that correct?
Jim Biggs is in the building,
Okay,
yes.
and that was what we were so anticipating. Him to come to the meeting so we can ask him questions that you've probably asked him already, and we keep asking you. So if the main man is here, we'd like to know the answer to many of these questions, and this would be a wonderful opportunity for you. Yeah.
So we're going to pause on that question.
Okay.
And I'm going to hand the mic over.
What's the answer?
The answer is he's in the building, and we're going to find that answer out for you because I'm stalling because I don't know.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm always the last. That's okay, but I don't like to be forgotten. My name is Mary Ann Dolan, for those new members of our community. And the Carrington is my home. And as most of you know, I'm the bag lady. Since our last meeting in December 17th, as of today, 5,000 paper bags have been sorted and delivered to food pantries. While I was under the weather with COVID, I'd like to thank Carol Makalinsky, Jerry Ann Garber, Kay Makarenko, and Maria Ferguson for helping and doing the bags. The bags can come from Mariano's, Trader Joe's, and Jewel, but no liquor store bags, please. I would like them. They need to be clean. They need to have handles on them. And I know in the past, those of you who have been here for a while, I was complaining about the goodies that were left in the bags. You know, like dirty napkins and half containers of ketchup, etc. But you're doing a much better job, and I thank you. Money is welcome, but so far I haven't come across any. The bags may be taken to the cubby room, which is across from the room where, behind the concierge, I should say. It's the place where you get your rent check, so I'm sure you're aware of that room. There's a large yellow container in there, and that's where you may put them. I know that if you use the bags, don't feel guilty about not donating them. We just don't want them to be put into the trash where they can be utilized for something, a good purpose, such as the food pantries. Thank you. And I'm going to always interrupt you, Brad. Stand up and say it's my turn. Or maybe I'll start out the meetings.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
We'll let you start next time.
Thank you.
All right. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Jim Biggs. Jim Biggs is the Chief Operating Officer for West Bay, our management company.
Thank you.
All right. Quick show of hands. If you were here when I was here, I know Paul, raise your hands real quick. All right. So again, good to see a lot of familiar faces. Always nice. This is one of my favorite places on earth here at the Carrington. We got history, and always appreciate that. For those of you who didn't know, April 2019, I came in. We were awarded the management contract. First thing I did was name myself executive director. I wanted to be here, and I lived here. I don't think the resident living in 3469 is here, but if she is, that's my old place. I saw a few of my neighbors yesterday, and again, this is home for me. It's a different role though, and again, this is I think when I was here, it was as executive director. Now, I think as Brad alluded to, it's a company I started back in 2017. We're starting to grow a little bit, want to continue to maintain connections with the community. So I'll be that regional guy working with Brad, working with the staff here. And so today I was here mostly to listen. And so again, this is not the same community I left back in 2021, I think. We're trying to figure out when that last day was. I can't even remember. It's a lot of time has passed, but nevertheless, was here today to listen, but I understand at least one question. But yeah, by all means. So if
I get the first question?
sure, you would want to ask for me, right?
Yes, I did.
Seems fair.
What we'd all like to know are the results of the survey that we filled out a long time ago, and we keep asking Brad, and poor fella, he has to keep saying, you know, I don't know the answer yet. So I bet you know, and you're going to tell us. Okay, thank you.
I got 71 cents in my pocket. I'll bet I know the answer too. Yeah, again, I'll take responsibility for that. The two communities were done concurrently at the same time. We have the results, and we'll be sharing them with Brad. And so I think we need to have having seen the results, it's, again, I don't think it's going to be any surprises. Anybody who comes to these meetings, anybody who comes to the questions and answers, listens, there's some things that need to be worked on. But again, we've always shared those results. We should have, I'll make sure before I leave, we get a copy with Brad, and along with a good understanding, and there'll be a timetable on, he needs to distribute them if he hasn't to the staff, and then the staff in turn can roll them out.
Can you give us a sneak preview?
Let's see, I'm a teacher as well. I teach over at USC. It's a C. And again, average, and yeah, so again, it's just and this is not an average community, but it kind of reflected the time, there was a transition there. There were a couple issues that Brad was brought in to help address, and I think that obviously sometimes these things take a little bit of time, but it does create a very clear blueprint of just what needs to be done. And I know his management style, he seems to be very inclusive. He seems to be working very closely with the resident council, with the appropriate committees and things like that. That's a formula we've done throughout our history here. So, again, my apologies for not getting that out sooner.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. Can I go now? Oh, wait.
Nice to meet you, Jim.
Nice to see you as well.
Okay. I have a question about handicap parking, or as the law says, accessible parking. ADA has a list of parking requirements based on the number of residents. And I'm just guessing on this, if we have 245 apartments in independent living, and I know some of the apartments have more than one person in them, as in my apartment, even based on 245 people, we should have a minimum of 7 places for people to park who are not able to walk farther. We have 4 as far as I know. Am I correct?
No, there's some in the garage, there's some outside.
Oh, wait. No, I'm not talking about garage. I'm talking about
Right,
outside.
but with this, when the building was built, you always, particularly for senior housing, where basically anybody can qualify for one of those. I mean, I could ask Dr. Patel and he would give me one of the, which I wouldn't do, but again, they get distributed. We found the only fair thing to do is just we meet the minimum requirements as provided by the oversight authority. In this case, it was state of Illinois. And when they do that count, they count all the parking spots. And so what we try to do is just rely upon education, good nature, and ideally, if somebody shouldn't be using one of those for long-term parking, we've had instances in other communities where we can get, if you need to park that close, we can send somebody out to get the car and just kind of quasi-valet it. A number of different things we can do, but yeah, the 7 spots, if that's an accurate number, I'm guaranteed we would not be open if we didn't meet the minimum number.
Well, there are 4 in front of our building. Am I correct?
There's some on the side. Yeah, I think there's some on the sides as well, I'm being told. But again, this would be the type of thing where I haven't brushed up on the parking here at Carrington. But what I can do is, again, this is a good issue. I'll make sure Brad and we can get it addressed at a forthcoming meeting. And sorry.
Okay, well, let me just say, based on the law, and I think we have more than 245 people in this building.
I'm sure.
Based on the law, a minimum would have been 7. And our population, fortunately, is aging, which we're thankful that we're still aging. And many more of us now need it. I am very fortunate I do not need it. As far as the parking places in the garage being counted, that's not fair because the garage is not free.
Yeah, I forgot about the ones on the side, but Brad reminded me.
On what side?
The dog park. The dog park side.
West side of the building.
West side of the building.
That's not, what help is that? It's not near an entrance.
Well, it is if you live in, like, the apartments are on the edge by the doors, and with the keys.
Let me just say, I'm asking the question, I think it's an important thing to be addressed. I'm not personally affected by it, but I see people who are. And it concerns me that and I feel that we at the Carrington should not even be satisfied with minimum. We are above minimum in many, many ways. And I think this is something we should really be concerned about.
Okay, agreed. No, my only point with that, there was a 1991, a young administrator at Ginger Cove in Annapolis, Maryland. Beautiful Annapolis. Try the crab cakes if you ever go there. But we had the same issue, and we basically made the mistake of committing to, if people have an access pass, the handicap access pass, there would be a parking space for them. And we found out they're 3 foot wider. There were 45 residents who came in the next day with those passes, and it just got to be, we weren't able to do it. So a lot of that stuff helps later. Obviously, we want to get you in and out of the buildings as safely and as comfortably as possible.
Well, yes, and some people here, I'm not interested in the people who get passes. I'm talking about the people who must have parking.
Correct. I understand. Thank you. I'll make sure Brad understands. We'll punctuate that with him. So, thank you. I think we got 1 or 2.
As part of the family, excuse me, over here to the other side. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
As part of the group of people that has a member of our family living here that needs access to a handicap parking spot, we would really appreciate your reviewing this with speed, because we recently got a notification from Brad that said that's going to cease. We cannot be parking anywhere but where there is a handicap parking permission.
Yeah. Okay. We'll review that.
And it's really difficult for my husband to walk from the side of the building. Very difficult.
Okay.
And so therefore, I'm asking for a speedy review. Thank you.
You're welcome. And this is exactly why we created resident council here and get them involved, that we can kind of level the playing field and make sure that all those voices are heard. So they'll be working with Brad. I'm sure we'll get something out very soon. Because it does, okay, I know there's a couple questions on the other side.
Does West Bank have a policy about the when and how to share COVID numbers information with residents? Because we haven't had that.
Again, from March 15th, 2020 through, I think, probably almost a year and a half, we gave out daily updates as required by the law. The whole COVID policy that we worked on was always with full compliance. There was a number of different organizations that were responsible to Board of Health, IDPH, the whole bit. So again, we try to meet the criteria for transparency and disclosure with that. Right now, it's no longer a requirement in the eyes of right or wrongly, and I know Dr. Patel was here earlier. I'd love to get an update from the doctor, because when we did that in Los Angeles, for a lot of the public entities that were demanding that we release that information and update that information, it's on the websites, that's no longer a requirement. In their eyes, it's just, they're just no longer curious about it. It's not like it's older, and again, I'm not, politics notwithstanding and everything else, from our point of view, we've always wanted to meet or exceed those standards. So I think I'm not even sure right now how often. I know the community in Los Angeles, we send just a quick note out about once a week, and that's just because the residents there want to know what's going on, but it's, yeah, well again, yeah. So again, it's a different environment in California. The building itself is licensed as assisted living, so it's complicated, but it's not like here where there's no license over this side of the building. So the requirements for transparency and disclosure. Now, wanting to know, we can pass that along to Brad and council, and under transparency, we can always choose to do it, but.
We like when you choose to do it.
Okay. Yes.
Mine is concerning food points. I figure we've got almost full capacity in our establishment now. Our food points have stayed the same. I figure if I have 16 points that I could use for dinner for 30 days in that month, it would be spending 480 points, which gives me 20 points to use for a breakfast or in the country store. What would I take? Now, if the month has 31 days, I would spend 496 points, and I'll have 4 points left over. Now, is there any thought of raising our food points so we could spend a little bit more maybe for a breakfast?
Yeah, again, that's something we'd have to take a look at.
Please do,
Okay.
because, we say there's the excess, well, 4 points over or 20 points over is not very much if I only have one meal a day.
Understood, thank you.
In the fall,
Yes.
about, I don't remember exactly, might have been November, we were told that the rental date would all be changed to the beginning of the year, so it's all at the same time, not at necessarily our anniversary date. And we were told that because of the cost of food, and I acknowledge that has certainly increased. Because of the increase in the cost of food, the percentage of our rent increase would be a little larger than we normally had. And for some people, it was anywhere from 6 to 10% because of the cost of food. Then we get to January, and because of the cost of food, the point values on the menu went up. And as the previous speaker mentioned, it's pretty hard to stay alive with the higher point values and the number of points one gets. So I'm wondering, what is your suggestion?
A lot to unpack there. As you said, we are going to take a look at obviously the points, everything else. I would note 65 cents out of every dollar you pay to live here is actually redistributed to the employees. And that is, in terms of inflation, that is by far the largest part of that pie. If you were to say, okay, I'm going to use round numbers here, I pay $1,000 a month. 65% goes to the employees. And that pays the salaries, the wages, the benefits, taxes, the whole bit. Food is generally about 11% of the budget, give it 9 to 11%, depending upon how you do it, the utilities. But that's the problem. Food it's been one part of it, but this inflation's been across the board. And then if you remember with the employees in particular, I'm assuming we still we drug screen, we check all the background checks. We don't just take anybody off the streets, we cherry pick. And those are people, good employees by definition have choices. And so we have to work very, very hard to recruit them, and then even harder to keep them here. So again, it's the basic premise with your first that food drove all that expenses. Again, it really wasn't. It's kind of the labor. I remember when I first started, I think minimum wage in Chicago went up to like $14 or $15 an hour or something like that. And we thought, oh my God, how are we going to afford to do this? Because when the Carrington was conceived, labor even then was a lot lower. George, you over 20? North, you over 20 or under 20 for like wait staff?
It's about right under 20.
Yeah.
About 18.
With benefits, it goes up to about 20. So again, it's just, there's pressure there as well. So I think, the challenge for any manager, like Brad, myself, is always, you got to keep the employees, you try to get as much balance as you can. So it's a system.
I appreciate that, and I understand it. I guess since it was represented both times with the rent increase and with the increase in food, it was represented as being the cost of food. As far as the staff, the wonderful people that help us are well worth whatever it is. We were extremely generous, at least personally, we were extremely generous with our appreciation fund money because we do appreciate them. And I'm glad that they are treated well and they're getting insurance and whatever. That's fine. I do feel that it is unfair to raise the prices, and we really don't have any points to use anywhere when you figure that out. Because it's either 20 points on a short month or 4 points.
Thank you.
Could I also point out that if you happen to take your meal upstairs because you don't like eating at 5 o'clock, that
if you take your food back to your rooms, first of all, there is not enough room in this dining room to hold the full capacity of people between 5 and 7. If people decide that they want to take their food upstairs, and there are many reasons why people choose not to eat down here. It may be the timing, it may be a handicap that holds them from feeling comfortable at a table with people that they don't know very well or know at all. There are many reasons, but then we're adding insult to injury by adding $2 for a bag to carry the food upstairs and $6 to have it delivered. These are what I consider ways to just fill the bank. Just like the gift that I gave you when you moved the change from my arrival date to January 1st. If you wanted to do that, you should have thought of that the first time you started charging people.
Okay. Couple things. I don't believe we mark up any of the to-go, the styrofoam, some of those other things. There's no markup on that. It's just that cost of that, there's just so much that kind of from a post-COVID, the price on those things has been astronomically inflated.
you didn't need it for the 5 years before.
Okay. All right, again, a lot of good questions, a lot of that. One more microphone and then.
You gotta go everyone.
Jim,
Yeah.
Jim, I have a basic question. And that is, we're told that on many of these items that are required for good operations, like in the kitchen or in the reception area or whatever, are being held up because of funding and approval from corporate. I don't know what your incentives are in holding this up. I don't know how you're being rewarded by the owners. I don't know how the owners feel about the place. But why is everything being delayed because it is not being approved by corporate? The kitchen has certain requirements that they have had now for 6 months or more. The reception area has had requirements. We've had safety problems. I came in on Saturday night at 10:20. There was no one there. There was somebody sitting, probably a caregiver waiting for a ride. She let me in. The annunciator board in the foyer was beeping, and the individual that usually is at the desk was out collecting garbage. We were told that he would be provided with a headphone that would connect him with all of the necessary facilities so that he's aware of what's going on. The poor guy wasn't aware. He was busy collecting garbage. Now, why is there this hesitancy to provide the capital to get the equipment that is required here? What is your idea of why it is being denied?
I'm not entirely aware that it was. I know the carpeting project, some of these other ones went through, but let me be honest, in the spirit of time, again, first day back here, actually second day, but I know there's always a list that we have of those CapEx projects. Generally, we try to get 3 quotes on each one. We need to be prudent stewards with that money, and then we make that presentation up to the ownership for the CapEx. So again, I'm not sure what's been done, but I'll be reviewing it with Brad, and we should be able to have, hey, here's a list of the projects for the year, here's what we think we're gonna time them out by. And there, as always, we've got a lot of successful professional people who run budgets. You know, sometimes you gotta make priorities, but for the most part, we should have that list available. We keep the powder dry a little bit, just because if the pool here or something like that goes wrong, we need to be able to jump on those things pretty quickly as well.
Yeah. So let's make this the last question. We are delayed with opening up for lunch, so later.
So Jim, just back on items that need to be purchased or taken care of.
Sure.
Especially in the kitchen. All we know is that our food doesn't come out hot. And there should be something there. I mean, that's a priority. So we're not sending our food back. Supposedly there's something that should be done. It hasn't been done.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.
Sure. I got more answers.